It's February 10th. JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today in the Treasury Titans. Nothing in this video is financial advice, but Michael Saylor wants us to amplify the orange. Orange is the future. If you believe that, if you're on board, you know that Bitcoin's going to win. And if you know that Bitcoin's going to win, you know that strategy is going to win at even a bigger level. They figured it out. Now it's just waiting for the pump. Michael Saylor says the winners are digital intelligence, NVIDIA, and digital credit, MSTR, and digital capital, Bitcoin. So we have NVIDIA, MSTR, and Bitcoin. And again, this is even after this huge dump. I mean, for a long time, MSTR was just crushing all these people. Now they're just crushing everybody except NVIDIA. And of course, Bitcoin's lagging a little bit, but over time. So these are the winners. Digital intelligence, that's NVIDIA. Digital credit, that's MSTR. And digital capital, of course, that's Bitcoin. Let's go. Chris says, Strategy is a digital treasury company, MSTR, built on digital credit, Stretch, built on digital capital, Bitcoin. Again, this is building off of what Michael Saylor just shared. So Strategy's a digital treasury company, that's MSTR. It's built on digital credit, which of course is the iPhone moment of Stretch. And it's built on digital capital, which of course is Bitcoin. So here you have Strategy in the middle, which the foundation is MSTR. The foundation below MSTR is what? Digital credit is Stretch. And then what's the foundation of it all? Of course, we've always known this. It's Bitcoin. One credit, or I should say one capital to rule them all. And that's Bitcoin. End of story. Jeff says, Bitcoin is the only institutional grade crypto assets. Why? Because its supply is unaffected by demand. It can be underwritten with certainty that the supply curve doesn't change. There is wide information arbitrage in this simple fact. That gap will close. Capitalize on Bitcoin. And that's Bitcoin with a capital Bitcoin B. So if you just understand what Jeff is saying here, is that it can be underwritten with certainty that the supply curve doesn't change. That will hit people hard when they finally see the lights. And then, wow, watch out above. Ragnar says, Strategy owns 3.4% of the entire Bitcoin supply, has an MNAV of 1.22x, a USD reserve of 2.25 billion, and an amplification ratio of 33%. They face no margin calls or any other immediate troubles. Very few people understand what this means. If you do, take advantage. And oh, by the way, I am taking advantage. I am getting my dollar cost average of my entry point down every single day by buying more and more and more. And then Ragnar says the same is true for MetaPlanet, and that is also true. MetaPlanet also has a very distinct advantage going forward if and when Bitcoin, and we know it's when, takes its ride to the North Pole being more all-time highs. Zinc says, looks like Stretch is close to reaching par 100. It's doing very well despite market conditions. When interest rates start coming down and Bitcoin is in a sustained uptrend, it will trade above 100 for the entire month with the ATM in use. Smart money is bullish on MSTR. And look at this. We're already back at 99.72. The quote unquote snapshot date of the 15th is coming right up. So, what's going to happen this month likely is MSTR, or I should say, is that Stretch is going to trade up to 100 for at least 2 or 3 trading days. That'll be a nice hope. And Michael Saylor will be able to ATM heavily during those days as people rush in to get their money in to STRC to get the snapshot of the 11.25% annual yield. And then they'll get paid out. And then on the 16th, 17th, and 18th, people will probably start selling to go use their money elsewhere for the next 25-ish days. And you might see a little drop in STRC. And then guess what? At the end of the month, Michael Saylor, this is my guess and my strong thought, is going to raise STRC to 11.5%. Because again, he wants to make this irresistible for people. He wants to be ATMing Stretch, not 2 or 3 days a month, but 10 days a month, 15 days a month. And in the future, hopefully 20 days a month, which is about the average number of trading days there are in a month. So that to me is inevitable. It's just a matter of when. And this is how it's going to play out until then. And again, the key part is, which Zinks points out, this is in a horrendous Bitcoin environment. This is where sentiment is so low. Bitcoin's gone from 126 to 69, not even to 69, to 59. I mean, it's unbelievable how Stretch is acting in these market conditions. Let's move on over to Rob, who says, what all Bitcoin bears forget is that Stretch exists. Stretch at 100 soon, and Bitcoin sub 100K is going to be a feast for MSTR, because that just means that Michael Saylor is just going to be buying Bitcoin every single day, sub 100K. And anything sub 100K is a screaming deal in the opinion of many, including myself. And Mark says, another great day for Stretch, ending not far from par, $100. Looks like we will get some ATM activity starting tomorrow. Super bullish, as MSTR is now in a position of strength with MNAV at 1.2x. The Stretch ATM will push it even higher and higher. Let's go. Here's Hermé saying the MSTR to Bitcoin ratio here was a plus 1.52% for MSTR. That was following a day of plus 16%. So as you can see, MSTR has had a couple really nice days against Bitcoin. I do wish Hermé, if you're listening, Hermé, thank you first for listening. I also wish you would just have, after this as well, just what's the 2026 to date? I mean, I think it'd just be a nice little snapshot of what is the MSTR Bitcoin ratio to date, year to date? Because I think that'd be kind of fun to track and to know, because it's going to go up some days, it's going to go down some days it'll be flat, and that's just how the cookie's going to crumble. Now we have Phong Le going back on national television, international television. I mean, let's just call it, he's going on the public airwaves, the TV waves, the radio waves, and he is spreading the good word of MSTR, of Stretch, of his thoughts on Bitcoin, of the market, etc. I love seeing Phong Le take more of a prominent role, because, of course, Michael Saylor is always going to be Michael Saylor, going around doing all the things, the presentations, the interviews, etc. But to have another amazing and strong individual like the CEO of Strategy, who is Phong Le, doing this as well, that just is double the greatness. So we have that Phong Le interview coming up as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsors. Scams and identity theft do not start with hackers. They start with your personal data being easy to find online. Your home address, phone number, and employment history can be sitting on dozens of websites right now, waiting to be used for fake loans, targeted scams, or worse. That information is spread across people's search pages, shady directories, and commercial databases you've never even heard of. That's where Incogni comes in. Instead of spending hundreds of hours manually opting out of these sites, Incogni automates the entire process. They hunt down your data and demand its removal. Incogni doesn't just do this once. They continuously monitor these sites in the background to make sure your data doesn't reappear. I recommend the unlimited plan, because when something isn't covered automatically, Incogni's custom removals feature lets you send in a specific link, and a dedicated privacy expert takes care of the manual removal for you, start to finish. Remember, if they can't find you, they can't use your data against you. Take your data back risk-free with Incogni's 30-day money-back guarantee. Use code MSTR for 60% off an annual plan at incogni.com/MSTR. That's INCOGNI.com/MSTR. When you want more, start your business with Northwest Registered Agent and get access to thousands of free guides, tools, and legal forms to help you launch and protect your business all in one place. Build your complete business identity with Northwest today. Northwest Registered Agent has been helping small business owners and entrepreneurs launch and grow businesses for nearly 30 years. They are the largest registered agent and LLC service in the U.S. with over 1,500 corporate guides, real people who know your local laws and can help you and your business every step of the way. Build your business identity fast with resources, forms, and step-by-step guides even before creating an account. Sign up to manage your business hub with lawyer-drafted documents. Northwest is your one-stop resource, makes life easy, and keeps privacy automatic, never selling data anywhere. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free.
Boy, this has been a wild ride. Bitcoin topping 70,000, closing in on 71,000 in kind of a mini rally after last week's roller coaster ride. Although Bitcoin got an 11% upward jolt on Friday, pretty dramatic. One day before that, it had plummeted to a low of 60,000. That was on February 5th. Strategy, the largest Bitcoin holder in the world, responding to that Bitcoin bloodbath by soaking up even more of the digital asset, buying on the dip. This morning, Strategy announced that it had bought 1,142 Bitcoin for $78,815 per coin. Right now, Bitcoin is currently trading at a price slightly lower than that. We're at $70,745. The play could serve as a signal by Strategy to its investors that the company maintains confidence in its very long-term strategy. Joining me now, the CEO of Strategy, Phong Le. Phong, some people are wondering, how do you justify scooping up so much Bitcoin when your stock is very highly correlated?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Liz. The taxonomy is as such. Bitcoin is digital capital. And if you believe that digital capital is superior to traditional capital, equities, stocks, gold, which everybody wants something that is scarce, non-sovereign, and is digitally better than the traditional, we'll start with that. You have to believe in Bitcoin. And I understand some people do, some people don't. Stretch is digital credit. We created something last year that provides 11% dividend yields, cash, paid monthly, and is tax deferred. And I believe it's one of the most interesting financial products in the history of the world. It allows you to amplify Strategy, our stock. Strategy is built to outperform Bitcoin as long as we continue to buy Bitcoin, issue credit. And so that's how we justify doing it. Strategy is more Bitcoin.
When you say it's built to outperform Bitcoin, so it has been, the stock since July has been chopped in more than half. It has really, I would say, I mean, you know, that isn't exactly outperforming Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin was 126,000, it's now 78,000. So I'm just wondering, what would have to happen for you to stop accumulating? I mean, you still continue to have enough cash to accumulate all of this Bitcoin each and every time that there appears to be a slight dip.
Yeah, so many have said, first of all, you have to have a long time horizon. With Bitcoin, with Strategy, with performance, you get volatility. So we go back to when we first started with Bitcoin, which was August 10th, 2020. All right, looking back 1 year isn't enough time. Let's say you go back 5.5 years. Strategy has had 55% ARR during that period of time. Bitcoin has had 38% ARR. Interestingly, gold has had 18% and the S&P 500 15%. The most interesting story there is Strategy outperformed Bitcoin and Bitcoin outperformed gold. And gold, of all the assets out there recently, has done tremendously, has outperformed the S&P 500. So you believe in that long term, right? Now, I get the short term can be volatile, right? Like 1 year is a very short time horizon. You believe in that long term, we keep buying Bitcoin.
You sound, if I'm sure he would cringe at the comparison, but you sound a little bit like Warren Buffett, who says, look, I only want investors in my stock who understand that we are very long term. And anybody who panics and flips out of their mind when we have a year or two that underperform the S&P, don't buy the stock. Is it sort of like that? And to that end, what are you hearing from investors who say, wait a minute, in your most recent quarter, granted it was on paper, but you lost $12.4 billion. What do investors say? You've got to have some who are calling up and saying, what is going on?
Not really. Well, let's start with anybody can buy our stock, right? We're one of the top 20 most liquid stocks in the NASDAQ, right? And there's a reason for that liquidity is people believe that Bitcoin is volatile, MSTR is volatile. So some believe in Bitcoin long-term. Some are trading on the volatility in the short term. I have no problem with that, right? Now, what about our short-term paper losses? They're paper losses, right? It's not a cash loss, right? It's not even a Bitcoin loss. It's not like we have less Bitcoin. And again, you have to look at Bitcoin per share. Are we accreting Bitcoin per share? That's the most important KPI that we run with. That's how we make our short-term decisions. And more Bitcoin per share means more Bitcoin. The only thing better than Bitcoin is more Bitcoin.
Current quarter, is it going to be as bad a loss, again, on paper as the previous quarter, or how is it trending?
There's two functions. One is, are we able to accrete Bitcoin per share? Right, and that creates Bitcoin gain. And that's a function of, can we sell more of this Stretch digital credit product? Okay. The other is what happens to Bitcoin price. I have no real good way of guessing short-term Bitcoin price.
Okay, that is an interesting business model that is rather unique, but we are watching it. And Phong, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Liz.
You bet, you bet.
What's the second best? There is no second best.